Okay, this week, oh my goodness, this week tags on to last week. So last week I asked you to get really clear on what you wanted, really clear on what you wanted, and then put all of your attention in what you want, right? Direct your energy and all your attention in what you want. Then I said, don't get discouraged by obstacles and fears. Release attachments to the outcome and trust that the universe has a grander plan. So it's like, okay, 1 and 2, I can do, but the rest, everyone goes, how? how? How do I not get swept up by the obstacles and the fears? And how do I detach from things needing to happen? So that's what this week is. Okay, so this is a week of detachment because you know what? All of our suffering, all of our suffering happens because of our attachments. Success, happiness, everything that we want to materialize in this world can happen when we learn to detach. So, how? This week, I'm asking everybody to get quiet, to get curious, to get observant. I want you to become so aware of your words and the stories that you tell. That's what I want you to detach from. But you got to get aware of them first, right? Get aware of how you speak. How do you speak to yourself? How do you speak about yourself? How do you speak to others? How do you speak about others? And then once you become aware, detach. Our words create, so much drama. Our words create so much stress and so much fear. Can we detach from those words and those stories that we tell ourselves? Oh my goodness, the stories we tell about ourselves of who we should be or who we are or who we think we are, or even the stories we tell about others, about who we think they should be. Oh, we get so caught up. So, how do we detach then from our stories, from our words? How do we do that? We get quiet, we get silent. I mean, even just listening to someone else as they speak. Are we always thinking? Are we always got words? There, I want to fix it. I want to give them something. No, get silent and listen. Detach from the words that are all popping up that you think that you gotta help them or fix them. Get silent. And you can get silent by listening to someone else. You can get silent at any given time. Just shh. What are my words? Of course, my favorite. Get silent in meditation. Because in meditation, the myth of meditation is that our words stop. Nah, you can never stop the words. The words and the thoughts, they're always going to come. But when we practice silence, when we practice meditation, we practice detaching from the words, not letting them get us all swept up. When we detach from the words, our emotions begin to get less attached to them. Because really, what causes of so much suffering is the meaning that we're attaching to the words and the thoughts and the emotions that we're having. And then we get all caught up. We can tell a different story if we become really quiet, very curious, and observant of those words. Because when we do that, when we get silent, when we get still, when we get curious and observant, then we can tune in. We can tune into our inner wisdom, our intuition. We can tune into this higher intuition and the higher wisdom. And so when we get quiet, when we get curious, when we get observant, we start to trust our intuition more. And when we trust our intuition, we don't need to know what happens next because we trust that the universe has our back. We trust that the universe has a grander plan. We lean back. We need to control much less when we tune into our intuition. So tuning into our intuition is all about getting quiet, getting still, releasing attachment to all of the words and all of the stories. I mean, this is where we ask ourselves, are these words even mine? Maybe not. Maybe I have these words and these thoughts and these dramas because I believed something that when I really tune into my intuition, my heart and my gut, I don't believe that. So let's get clear. Let's get quiet. Let's get curious. Let's tune inward. We can embrace the unknown. And that for me, I know for me, that was the scariest thing for the longest time. Embrace the unknown. And then I realized I was held captive by the illusions of everything that I knew or thought was the known, right? Everything I thought was safe. I was so trapped in the illusion of everything that I knew. But I needed to control that environment. And in that, I was so attached to the outcomes and how things needed to unfold and the fears and the obstacles when they didn't unfold the way I wanted them to. Ah, oh, the suffering. I can feel the stress in my body as I remember that. Oh, and I still get caught up in it. Don't get me wrong. But then I get quiet. It's still. I get curious. I start to question these thoughts, these words. Here I am, caught up in the illusion again. And I find myself tuning into the intuition. And you know what? The logical mind will say, maybe something in my intuition is like, no, 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 no. I'm not going to do this. It doesn't feel right. When the logical mind is like, are you nuts? So there's this conflict. But when we practice this more often, for me, it's meditation. However, you need to practice your silence, your stillness, your willingness to listen to your words and detach from them. You don't have to believe everything your words are telling you, right? Let's start to release the attachment to our words, our beliefs, our thoughts, so that we can get really clear on what it is that we want. And then we can focus a little better on what we want because we've learned how to detach from the words and the fears. And then we don't get so caught up. We will still get caught up in the obstacles and the fears because we're having a human experience. That's just a given. But we don't get so caught up and so swept away that we get stuck. No. Right? Then we begin to go, okay, I can release attachment. I can release attachment to how I think this desire I want is going to unfold because I'm no longer so attached to my words and my stories. I can do this. Then what we do is when we tune into that, we trust the universe more. We trust the universe has a grander plan. We can look at those obstacles as being opportunities. We got to learn how to be still, to be silent, to detach from the words. And so really what it comes down to is we get to lighten up. We get to take life and ourselves a little bit less serious, or maybe a lot more serious. And essentially we embrace the unknown. Okay? Let's tap this in. And I love tapping this stuff in because what does tapping in do? Okay? So let's just start moving, bouncing. Let's bounce. So what this does is it brings me into my body. It brings you into your body. And then we can feel, right? And then we can notice, oh my gosh, I'm feeling that pain in my knee or I'm starting to move. It just brings us into our body. But in our body, when we get quiet, when we get observant and curious, let's shake things out. What does that feel like when you shake things out? So when we're quiet and we're observant, we start to notice our words. Oh my goodness, I'm going to detach from the words that are taking me into, the discomfort in my body. Let's smirch it out. What does that feel like? Right? Stand nice and tall. Pick up the opposite leg. Let's just get energy moving. If nothing else, we come into our body. We connect into our body, right? We are souls having a human experience. We're human. We have to have this human experience. So let's get into our body. Okay, and then let's just tap. What does that feel like to tap? What am I feeling? What are my words about this? Right? Even that whole why do we tap in? Why do we do this? This is so silly. Yet our body needs this. Our body needs us to tap in, to tune in. And it's here when we do this tap and we get embodied that we can detach more from our minds. Breathe, connect to the breath, rub your hands together and tap in. So this is not necessarily stillness. We're still getting we're incorporating movement. But as we tap in, we can get silent. Tapping here grounds us here into this human experience. It embodies us. And when we breathe with this, we can release worry and those obstacles and detach from the words and the meanings and the stories that we tell. And then we can come down here. I like to cross my arms, but you don't have to. We tap into the kidney points. K27, let's get all of our energy moving in the right direction. What does that mean? That means we clear the obstacles and the fears. We detach from the thoughts that we say to ourselves, about ourselves, to others, to a situation, about others. Let's drop the drama. Let's notice our stories. Let's lighten up. Let's go, oh my goodness. And that's what I've really discovered in the last few weeks. Look at the stories I tell myself. This is crazy. When we get observant and quiet, we can actually lighten up, laugh at ourselves, tap in, to the heart center. When we learn to detach from all of these thoughts, we tune more into our soul. We tune into our intuition. We tune into our higher self or a higher intuition. We tune into the energy of the universe. Not so scary, right? We then can detach from the outcomes because we trust that the universe has our back or a greater plan. And we tap in, our fourth tap right here. Just metabolize all of this. Right? Can I trust the unknown? Can I let go of control? What if these thoughts that I'm having, these words that I say are really, really just illusions and I'm just held prisoner of all of these thoughts? What if? Just open up, expand your mind and your body. Rub your hands together. I like just to cross this energy. So this week, my friends, get quiet, get curious, get still, tune into the heart, tune into the intuition. Stop taking yourself so serious, stop taking your words so serious. We get to detach, right? We don't have to believe those fears and those obstacles. We can put our energy and our focus into what it is that we do want. Okay? Listen in, listen to your words, listen to others, get quiet, get curious. Have a fabulous week because this can be literally life-changing and even mind-blowing if you can detach from those words and the stories. Opens it up. We can trust more. trust ourselves, trust our intuition, trust the universe. Namaste.